Welcome to Module 4 of the MITRE Attack course. In this module, we look at how attackers push deeper into a system after gaining their initial foothold. The focus is on privilege escalation, where they try to gain higher access, and defense evasion, where they hide their tracks to avoid detection. We walk through common techniques, how they work in real environments, and the key logs and signals analysts rely on to catch them early. Once an adversary has established execution and persistence using a low-privilege account, they cannot achieve their mission objectives, like collection or exfiltration, without higher access. Privilege escalation, TA0004, is the process of gaining that higher-level access, e.g., moving from a standard user to a local administrator or system account. This is often immediately paired with defense evasion, TA0005, to disable security monitoring and hide tracks, ensuring the attack continues undetected. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, you will be able to 1. Understand how attackers escalate privileges to gain admin-level access. 2. Identify common misconfigurations and vulnerabilities used for privilege escalation. 3. Recognize defense evasion techniques that hide attacker activity on a host. 4. Apply practical detection methods, including SIEM alerting and log analysis, to uncover these tactics. Privilege escalation. Privilege escalation is basically when an attacker gains higher permissions than they should by abusing system flaws, weak configurations, or vulnerable software. The key tactics include exploitation for privilege escalation, T1068, and of abusing configuration, or misconfiguration, T1548. Let's take a look at them. 1. Exploitation for privilege escalation, T1068. This is the most direct form of privilege escalation, involving the abuse of a vulnerability in the operating system kernel, the driver, or a service. This involves procedure, detection focus and process injection. Procedure. The attacker exploits a system flaw so their code runs with higher privileges, usually system or root. Detection. Look for odd memory manipulation or process injection. Security tools often catch known exploit patterns, and keeping systems patched is the strongest prevention. Process monitoring. Watch for processes behaving in ways they normally shouldn't, especially sudden privilege jumps, or unusual interactions with other processes. 2. Abusing configuration, or misconfiguration. T1548. Adversaries prefer to exploit misconfigurations, because it is quieter and often bypasses standard antivirus, AV, or exploit mitigation tools that look for traditional memory exploits. This include bypass user account control, UAC, and unquoted service paths. Bypass user account control, UAC. Procedure. The attacker slips past user account control by using trusted Microsoft apps that auto-elevate, then redirects that elevated process to run their own payload. Detection focus. Look for any process running with high integrity that wasn't launched by a legit, approved parent app. Unquoted service paths. A classic privilege escalation vulnerability where a service executable path contains spaces and is not enclosed in quotes. An attacker can place a malicious executable earlier in the path that gets executed first. Procedure. Unquoted service paths let an attacker hijack a vulnerable service by placing a fake executable earlier in the path. Detection. Watch service registry paths for unquoted file paths with spaces. This helps spot systems that need fixing. Defense evasion. Hiding the tracks. Defense evasion techniques are used to avoid detection by security products, including firewalls, antivirus, EDR, endpoint detection and response, and SIEM security information and event management systems. The key tactics include obfuscated files or information, T1027, indicator removal on host, T1070, and masquerading, T1036. 1. Obfuscated files or information. To bypass signature-based detection, adversaries encode, encrypt, or pack their payloads. Procedure. Attackers encode or encrypt payloads to hide malware and change its signature. Detection. Watch for high-entropy files and encoded commands like PowerShell's encflag or decoding functions. 2. Indicator removal on host, T1070. This is the most direct way to achieve defense evasion, is to destroy the forensic evidence that would prove the attack occurred. T1070.001. Clear Windows event logs. Attackers wipe event logs to hide their tracks. Detection. Flag use of wftutle or clear event log touching security or system logs. T1070.004. File deletion. Attackers delete files to remove evidence. Detection. Watch for unusual or excessive deletion of recent or suspicious files. 3. Masquerading, T1036. Masquerading involves making an attacker's file or process appear benign or legitimate to confuse human analysts or simple automation rules. T1036.003. Renames malicious files to look legitimate. Detect when file names are correct, but paths are unusual. T1036.005. Uses misleading names or locations, typo squatting, detect when executables run from unexpected directories. Red Team Simulation. To truly understand T1070.001, the analyst must see the procedure executed and how it affects the logging system. Goal. Simulate clearing the Windows security log and capture the key alert. Steps. 1. Set up your Windows VM with sysmin and audit policy so log access is recorded. 2. Run the command wftutle cl security to mimic an attacker clearing logs. 3. Check for Windows Event ID 1102, which appears just before the log is wiped and shows who cleared it. Practical. Building SIEM alerts for suspicious service creation. This lab looks at how configuration-based privilege escalation can be spotted by building a simple SIEM alert for suspicious service creation. For the full walkthrough, detailed tasks, and sample logs, check the PDF material for this module. Summary. In this module, we focused on how attackers try to climb to higher privileges and the different ways they do it, from exploiting vulnerable systems to abusing misconfigurations like UAC bypass or unquoted service paths. We also looked at simple, high-signal detection points, especially process behavior, registry changes, and Windows event logs.